Look, waiting on God does not mean that you should disappear from the assignment. What God is doing, I believe, is preparing you for the promise. I want you to visualize a tree, actually two trees. One is planted by a riverbank. The other one is standing up in the desert. Now that visualization probably looks a bit like this. The one that's next to the riverbank, the bark on the tree is deep brown, leaves green. You know, it seems to be alive and thriving. And the one in the desert probably looks brittle. The brown looks gray. The leaves probably look crackled. And, you know, it just looks like it's not being nourished. One of my favorite verses is Psalm 1:3, and it speaks about how when you delight in the law of the Lord, it will be like you're going to be like a tree planted by the rivers of water, which I believe the rivers of water is the word of God. The verse also says how that tree will bring forth fruit in its season. And whatsoever it does shall prosper. You know, the leaf will not wither. You know, I'm paraphrasing. But that comes from being planted. That comes from staying connected. And even though you might not be in your fruit-bearing season, that doesn't mean that you should wither away and die. So when you're out of season, you have to remain active. You have to still thrive. You have to still do the things that you need to be doing, even though it looks like it's not reaping a harvest yet. You have to become the person that the blessing is for, rather than God preparing the blessing for you. God is more concerned about what is on inside of you versus the external. And once we realize that, it'll switch our mindset during our waiting season. And then the word also says, I think that's John 15:2, that every branch that doesn't bring forth fruit, that isn't fruit bearing, he's going to take it away. And even the ones that's bearing fruit is going to have to be pruned. He's going to purge it. Think of yourself as a vine, right? Some of the branches may be, you know, getting air and sun, and some of those branches, they like laying in the dirt. They ain't getting no air, they ain't getting no water. So the vine caretaker, which is, you know, God in this scenario, he's going to come and he's going to remove that branch or lift it so that it can now be exposed to the nourishment. So for us, that means even when you're bearing fruit, you still may have some discomfort because you're being pruned and cleansed. And if you're not bearing fruit, if that branch is not bearing fruit, then it's going to be sifted away. Pruning isn't punishment, it's preparation. God's work is perfect and it is complete. So think about that. The way God got this thing set up is just amazing. It's amazing. So stay encouraged, stay the course, keep doing what you're doing, because even though it's not your fruit season, it is your root season. All right? Y'all be blessed.